it says we can't go live to the Twitter account. It says we don't have a premium.
Oh, it's updating because of the new profile picture.
Oh, damn it.
All
Oh,
right.
I didn't think of that. All right, well, we're live on
Whatever. Yeah.
YouTube. We've got Family Guy playing in the on the Zumo TV. Today we're going to be doing our best bets for week 2. Week 1 got other ancillary topics. Of course, we're getting to the guy who offered to eat dog poop out of a cup, but it was pointed out to me today by Sean. We had these amazing stickers put together. What's the name of the artist?
Caden Stopecat.
Caden Stopecat made these amazing stickers. We're going to go around sticking these on various things. Bars, doors, bathrooms, anywhere we can, just so people go, hey, what's Hack City? If you want one, we can figure out how to try and send you one. The thing, though, that was pointed out to me by Sean, the artist who made this sticker, like almost immediately after he produced this for us, like designed the entire thing, and almost immediately after,
Yeah.
he said, hey, I'm not taking commissions anymore. I'm not going to be.
He's focusing on his own stuff now, it seems like.
So we basically killed the creative drive of an artist that was getting paid to create illustrations for people for whatever he was making. I don't know what it was. We killed him.
We were the straw, it feels like. He's done plenty of commissions before. They've done plenty of commissions before. I don't know if it's a dude or a girl. Some of the art may tip off that they may be a dude. But I started following because there was really creative stuff on the page. And I said, eventually, when me and Joe actually start getting this thing rolling, same studio, and make that full push effort, I would like to get a logo design from this guy. He does good work, and he does online work, and I think it would translate well. So I hit him up, and the process was overwhelmingly positive. I was stoked about it, saying, oh, maybe eventually we'll evolve the sticker, we'll evolve the artwork. And now it seems like he doesn't need as much external involvement.
You probably were berating this poor guy and overwhelming him. No, that's not good enough. No, what are you? This is garbage. You were probably this poor guy was probably just so stressed out, and he was tired of dealing with people, and then he just saw your big bulbous head in his DMs, just ruining this poor guy's creativity. But just, I mean, he turned whatever you pitched him, he turned it into some amazing work. But you are to blame for this. I'm not going to say we. I shouldn't have said we.
I was a gentleman to this person.
Sure.
I accepted. I didn't have a bunch of creative, suggestions. I let the artist do the art.
I bet there was a hey asshole in there somewhere. No, there wasn't. There wasn't?
It's not one of those.
Listen here, you piece of trash.
No, I was not trying to ruin.
You're going to do this for a discount. This is so bad.
You know what? Maybe he thought he was doing it for dorks, because we are dorks, and I'm a dork too. And I didn't have enough edge, maybe. And he's like, I'm just doing this for a bunch of losers. I'm going to do my own cool art now. Like, that's probably where his head went seeing this whole process. Because I was so overly like, thank you. Oh, it turned out so great. So
you think because you were such a loser, he's like, oh no, these guys aren't cool. These people keep hitting me up for anime girls pictures, and now this big oaf asked me to make this really weird specific thing that he asked me.
A robot and an ogre. That seems like
honestly,
pretty good.
I'm gonna be completely honest. Looking at the rest of his work, this is kind of shit compared to the rest of his work.
I think that was the pricing that played into it.
I would have paid more for something. I mean, this is cool. I'm giving you credit for getting this done, but this guy, the rest of his work is honestly pretty sweet.
I think he lost.
It's like a 4 on the scale.
I think he lost some of his spark, and I didn't catch him at a good time in the creative process. Obviously, given how it's shaken out. It doesn't feel good ruining a man's dream, or maybe being the one to set him back on the right track, because everything that I done and am doing is so shit. I think you said I don't want to get rubbed off on by these losers anymore.
How many guys do you think hit him up for anime illustrations of them and some girl that they talked to once?
Dude, online artists, if they're sometimes they do like AMAs, they say you don't even want to hear the requests, and they make.
Oh yeah, because I bet there's plenty of them that are asking for porn.
Oh, art. Oh, you know what? No. For the viewers, it's art in air quotes. It's not art. It is not, in my opinion, seen as art.
Colin's asking if he Colin, the robot or the ogre? It's me and Sean. Quick question from Dustin though. He wanted to know how you like Raging Bull. Don't go into deep
It was a
specifics.
6. Yeah, it was a 6 out of 5 for me. I was listening to some shows. They were talking about Raging Bull. Tapped into. I said, all right, fine. I'll finally watch this movie. It's Scorsese. It's De Niro. Let's see how it goes. It's a 6.5. It's just because it's dated. I'm sure that melted everyone's minds when it first released. The movie for me and my generation feels too dated, unfortunately. It was good. I got it. I understood it. But some of the themes and shedding the light on this tortured boxer, okay, I was over it. I was over it about 45 minutes in. It picked up. But yeah, I didn't really like the whole, this is just how it was, and we're going after, our wives are 15 and we're 24. Like that's not the slant that I really enjoy with my movies.
What were you watching?
Raging Bull. Yeah, one of the most legendary movies of all time.
You tried to sell me on watching that, and I was not. I was not in on it. Well, okay, wait. I gotta ask you this though. Before we're gonna hit the open in a quick second, and we're gonna get to the real sports topics here. But so what is this whole Notre Dame thing that you put down in the chat? Can you explain, or in the notes? Can you explain?
I've kind of been rotating each night about what I'm gonna watch. If it's gonna be a movie, if it's gonna be a documentary, something sports. Last night was a sports night for me. So I popped up a 30 for 30, one that I haven't seen before. That was Catholic versus convicts.
Yeah, it's a great 30 for 30.
I'd say it was very well made. How do you sleep at night knowing that that's the school that you root for?
What?
That they were painted as the victors and the winners. Oh my God, that was
because it's a Catholic school going against a bunch of. At the time, this is not. I'm not saying that this is reflective of student athletes that go to Miami, but at the time, a large number of individuals that were playing in Miami were getting in trouble with legal things. So that's why it was painted good versus evil in that situation, because it was the 80s and people were psychopaths when they were trying to depict these things.
The late 80s, not early 80s. People had a little more common sense then. God,
a bunch of Catholic guys. What do you expect? They're polar opposites, and also they're polar opposites,
which made for a great documentary to see them be polar opposites. South Bend, Indiana, and Miami, Florida. You couldn't get further apart.
That's why they were rivals.
Yeah, of course, it's great. Yeah. I think a lot of it was fantastic, but the Notre Dame glazing. And the spirit and the magic that you could feel in the stadium. One of the best football games of all time.
You're just a hater. You did this with your goddamn Purdue take. No, I see how it is. You're like any person that has a predetermined opinion, and you go into it, and then all you need is just a little something to latch onto. And they're, these pompous assholes.
Yeah, they're a little
Instead
pompous.
Of taking it in. Instead of taking in the history and the lore and the appreciation of what it was.
Can I give you a positive that I had from it?
What?
I like seeing Lou Holtz when he was still a little bit fresh. His commentary during the documentary.
Best book I've ever read was his book.
He was a little more spry, and I did like the commentary about how he treated the players in practice.
Very hard.
And just the brutal nature that he approached coaching with. Because we were both coached by our dads, and it's about as close as you can get to that. But yeah, that I'm sure a lot of Notre Dame fans are real proud of that game and proud of that win in season, as they, I guess, should be. They won a national championship. Yes. I'm still over them. But you know what? They did make your campus look okay. That looked pretty decent, some of the shots.
Your disrespect for Notre Dame's campus has to be one of the most egregious things that you do, because that is, I've been to a number of campuses before. I've been to plenty.
Mm-hmm.
It easily, for how nothing it is going on around that, the fact that they've got such a beautiful landscape around just nothingness, it deserves more respect than you give it.
You walk around the botanics in South Carolina, in Columbia, South Carolina, and you tell me you don't feel that, like this couldn't be a great college campus.
Pass.
Oh, blow you away.
I'll never step foot at South Carolina.
You should. It's exciting.
All right, we're going to hit the open. We're going to be back. We're going to be talking best bets and also plenty of other stupid things. Here comes the open.
And now back to your regular programming.
If you speak better to yourself.
You showed up for probably the dumbest conversation we've ever had on this show.
Let's have that smile again.
Tell me how that happens. Physically should not happen.
Relax.
If you say it
Give me as well.
3 times a day, God will line it up.
He's just an absolute hack, and he gets his ass kicked by the teammates every week. It's just terrible.
Hack City, Joe DeLeone, Sean Anderson, two former college football players from the University of Rhode Island. Today we have our college football week 2 best bets, and we've got NFL week 1 coming around the corner. So we've got even more bets for you. We're going to be giving this year our NFL weekly best picks for sports betting. We're also today going to get to the Florida State fan who offered up very freely that he would willingly eat dog shit if they lost to Boston College. That was an unbelievable saga to follow. And then after that, we're going to talk a little bit about Bill Belichick now being on Instagram, wrapping things up with the AP Top 10 being released and our thoughts heading into week 2. So to quickly recap week 1's college football bets, I took a disgusting bath, an absolutely disgusting, egregious bath. Could not have had a worse week than what I had. I went 0 for 3. I was wrong on Michigan State. I was wrong on West Virginia. I was wrong on Virginia Tech. I couldn't have picked a worse slate of games. Sean somehow scraped together a 3-0 week. What do you just get it out already?
Yeah, I'd like to get it out, but can I get out where people should be placing their bets, Joseph? Can I do that?
Can you cut me off?
You've done this a couple times in a row. Bet online. Where are you going to be placing your bets? It's the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. All the spreads that we're talking about today came off of BetOnline. Good, nice, tasty spreads that you can really sink your teeth into, that you can get excited about. Spreads that make you want to wake up in the morning, rock hard, ready to go, and watch some football. Think you know your stuff? Get in on their $200,000 mega contest to pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200K. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Bet online. The game starts here.
All right. As I said, we've got week 1 best bets. I went 0 for 3. Sean, you went 3-0. Just get your gloating.
It feels good.
Yeah, get your
you know what?
out of the way.
It feels good. And I'm surprised you haven't thanked me yet, personally. Because I believe I'm the only reason that Notre Dame beat Texas A&M.
Oh, shut the hell up.
Genuinely?
Shut it. No, because last year you bet on them a bunch of times and they lost last year, so I don't want to hear it.
You have to respect a hot Saturday, and I was having a hot Saturday, and I didn't get one thank you for saving that team. You're not getting one.
That's the most dick thing to do, by the way, and we started yelling about this. You don't bet on somebody's team when they're sitting down to watch it, and they're visibly stressed by the game.
I was hot. I had already gone 3-0. I had 2 more wins under my belt in the afternoon slate. It does matter.
And I got bet on somebody's team.
Ungrateful. That I saved Notre Dame's season practically because we know it's cupcake. And if they took that loss, it'd be over.
You're a pompous ass.
Are you
kidding me?
I couldn't get one thanks.
You're not getting a single thanks. You shouldn't have bet on them. If they lost, you wouldn't have heard the end of it. I would have stabbed you.
If you were having a hot Saturday, if you had a hot Saturday rolling into Sunday, I would love for you to bet on Atlanta. I would beg Joe. I'll pay your unit. Just do it on your account because my account ain't hitting. That's what I would do.
If I have a hot Saturday rolling into a Sunday, I promise you, I will bet against Atlanta every single goddamn time.
That is crazy to say.
That's
crazy to say.
Screw yourself.
No, now you're crossing the line.
No, you're the one who started this.
No. I started it. I won the game.
Don't bet on somebody's team, or at least if you're going to do it, don't freaking tell me. Don't tell me that you're doing that.
I was on the phone with somebody else, and they asked me what plays I had. I was not going to tell you. I was going to keep it to myself, but I couldn't at that point.
I hate you.
I was hamstrung.
I hate you as a human being. Week 1 or week 2 bets though. I don't know why I'm having trouble navigating this document. This is just we got to separate. We got to get more than one document. My first pick though that I want to pitch here: Kansas laying 5.5 versus Illinois. I'm surprised by how close this spread is. I think that this Kansas team has the potential to be even more explosive than they were last year. I was duped by Illinois last season. They were one of my few dupe teams.
I'll give a dupe there. Big dupe on me also.
They duped all over my chest. And I thought that Illinois was going to win this matchup last year, and Kansas blew past them. And what was made evident is that the clunky, slow roster that Illinois had does not match up with a team like Kansas that's going to kill you in space. So that 5 points, that is so juicy. Are you kidding me? I think that they can win by 14 or more. That is one of the easiest layups that I have ever seen. And that doesn't include the one that you stole from me, which you're going to get to in a
I
second.
can't wait to get it. I can't wait to hear about you trying to move the goalposts, which we will discuss in a moment.
By the way, we've never said that we can't duplicate picks. We just don't do it. We've never said that we can't duplicate picks.
Yes, we have.
When have we ever said?
We've never duplicated picks.
Somebody
ever.
find me where it says that we've duplicated. We couldn't duplicate
Never
picks.
once have we duplicated picks.
Also, you said to me earlier when I was yelling at you about stealing a pick that I wanted, you were like, "Oh, now you see what it's like when you're not the one who makes the
it's
doc."
a little bit different.
There were plenty of times last year where you put your picks in before me.
Oh no!
Yes,
I
there
may have put
were.
my FC estimates in before you, which we will also
Yes,
get
there
back to
were. There
tomorrow.
were plenty of times.
Look, I'm just saying it's a little different when you're scanning. Get to the document, put your stuff in. I didn't just put the Sean bets in and then immediately fill in my picks. Hey, Joe and Sean were sitting there for an hour. Go ahead and do that then. But I know you're busy, you got a job. I don't mind your pick, but the tough thing about the Fighting for Nellies is that they will never play for you when you bet on them. When you bet against them, they're the best team you've ever seen in your life. So it's a little scary. I don't like betting against Illinois because I don't know when they're going to decide to actually go out and play football. But Kansas is strong enough, 5.5. I like it. I can't knock you. My first for this weekend slate, Iowa.
Don't support my pick. Don't. Oh, I like it. Shut up.
I'm rooting for you this
Shut
week.
up.
I
What's
want
your
you to
first
make it
pick?
more of a
What's your
contest
first
this
pick?
year.
What's your first pick?
It's a beatdown. I'm trying to get you back up out of the dumpster.
Shut up.
Iowa, giving 2.5 to Iowa State.
Terrible pick.
It is not a terrible pick. I don't know if Iowa State is going to score 10 points this game. It's very possible that they don't.
Bad pick.
It's a good pick, and you're lashing out because I was being positive.
Shit pick.
This is a really good pick, and I think if you turned on another show, you would hear someone praising Iowa's defense and how stout they are, and that Iowa State only has a fan full of corns. That their fan is just cornfields.
I said just stalks of corn.
Oh, stalks of corn. Pardon me, not corns.
I'm glad that
Learn how to
I'm
speak,
glad that
Anderson.
you tune in from. Wait, so do you just like listen to me and then not hear Blake? Is that kind of the?
I don't. How can I hear Blake?
That's a good
I'm
point.
just hearing you yelling, and then I say, okay, you're lashing out. It's fine. Iowa 2.5. It's a simple, nice bet. I can't believe they're only favored by 2.5. They dropped 40 last week. Maybe they'll have some carryover success and have 21 on the board. That's all they need to cover this spread.
My second pick that I love, I was stunned by this. Arizona State's favored by 6.5. Give me Mississippi State. Are you kidding me? Look, Jeff Levy, I know that it's his first game or first like real big matchup that he has at Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Mississippi State last year, under a far more incompetent head coach, beat Arizona. Beat Arizona. That was one of the best teams in the Pac-12. For some reason, we think that Arizona State is this behemoth, this offensive powerhouse, because they lit up the score on a nothing opponent last week. Give me Mississippi State to cover the 6.5. I would even take a money line, but I want to just give myself a little bit of the free cushion I was handed out here. So I'm going to take Mississippi State 6.5.
I think there has to be some factor of playing so late at night and traveling and playing in Arizona State. Like that has to be the factor of why it's 6.5.
I think that they went to Arizona in the same circumstance last year.
Well, then they shouldn't be the underdog in this situation. It's a fine bet. I don't love betting on lower ranked SEC teams going west typically. I know that's what they did. Mississippi State did it last year, but I've seen enough of Florida getting beat by Utah. I've seen it. It's actually shaking me to my core to think about betting on an SEC team flying west late night. Can't do it. My second pick here, if you don't mind, Tennessee giving 7.5 versus the NC State Wolfpack. I'm sure this is a bad pick. Why would you even consider this to be a bad pick? Oh, this is because Joe wanted this pick and started losing his mind and jumping in his chair earlier when he said, "Oh, I can't believe you took the NC State Tennessee game." You know what?
Lowest hanging fruit.
You pitched after seeing that this pick went into my hands, which is a good pick because NC State looked uber flawed against Western Carolina last week, and Tennessee dotted up their opponent, poor Chattanooga, getting beat down by the rolling Volunteers. When I had this pick in my little board here, you said we should do a draft style of betting picks. That was your pitch.
If you pitched that to me last year, I would have more than willingly accepted that, but you never did.
No,
it never crossed my mind.
So you want to snake draft the picks. because I got Tennessee.
Well, it's
NC
too late
State.
now. It's too late now. We're not changing the
It'll
format.
never happen, DeLeone. It'll never
All right.
once happen.
All right.
Tennessee,
You get the free correct pick.
7.5.
It helps
Lock
me
it
that
in.
your other two are dog shit, so I'll be completely fine.
Sure.
My last one. This is my my way of injecting criticism towards Dabo.
Your magnum opus here.
Yeah, Clemson -17 versus App State. Can't get up for Clemson, but will take all of his anger out on App State. Like this is a banger. This is an easy one. You think he's not going to show up and just unleash on an opponent that's just kind of sitting there, happy to be there? I know that App State wants to pull off the upset, and they're a tough opponent to go up against. But App State doesn't know what's coming for him. No, they're not going to direct this towards Florida State or Miami or maybe South Carolina. No, you're gonna. It's like getting cut off in traffic and then getting out of your car and then full speed running and punching a child in the face. That is the most Dabo thing that he could possibly do. So this is a banger of a pick. Of course, I'm going to take this one.
So you think that the post Georgia hangover will
No. It's not a hangover. It's like, God, we got our asses kicked so bad. I'm going to take it out on this poor old lady I see at the park.
Dude, you know what? If Clemson's offense didn't look half as anemic as they did, I would love this pick. The defense, I love it for Clemson's defense. I mean, they until the late second half really showed like they had some backbone against Georgia. And if they played like they did in the first half versus App State shouldn't score a bunch in this game. Clemson's offense looked terrible.
But this is my whole point, though. Dabo needs to put up a stupid point total and to win by an unnecessary amount of points to get everybody off his ass, so that you know what he's gonna do. He's gonna show up to the press conference on Monday, like, oh, I thought I didn't need to go in the transfer portal. I thought I didn't need to go and get receivers, or I like you guys made it seem
we
like.
just dropped 60 on him.
Yeah, he's gonna.
Sure.
This is going to be his rallying cry game because he blasted App State. Now this is a easy pick.
I like how you inject your emotions into each of your picks. That's fun for me. See, because I like that also. It's almost a reverse jinx for yourself because you're not really.
Shut up and make the pick. Shut up and make the pick. You had one good week.
Oh, it was a great week. Don't call it good. It was even a perfect week. My final pick: Georgia Southern giving one versus Nevada. It is a pick 'em at this point. I loved what I saw Nevada do in week 0. That's great. You know, they put up a great fight against SMU. But you know what I love more? The fight that I saw? Georgia Southern staying in the game versus Boise State. Oh, seeing a running back go for 6 touchdowns and 1 billion yards, and it's still close late in the game. Love it. Georgia Southern coming out here to play. They don't give an F about Nevada. Why would they? They just watched Ashton GT run for 6 touchdowns and almost had a chance to win. So they're not fearing Nevada at all. I like Georgia Southern right here, giving one, getting some get back, getting on their feet.
Nevada didn't play Boise State.
Georgia Southern.
Oh, Georgia Southern.
Yeah.
Okay. I was confused. No, I hate this. I actually almost, one of my picks almost was Nevada to cover and to win.
Okay.
So this one's terrible.
Take it in your personal life then, Pappy. Go ahead.
I did take it in my personal
Oh,
life.
okay. So that's an early fade. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Early
I got
fade.
a lot of fades on you.
That works.
I got a lot of fades on you. Fade you any day.
Gotta catch a fade.
NFL picks. Now let's get to the NFL ones. NFL Week 1 best bets. How do we think things are going to shape out? Here's my first one for you, Sean. I think that one of the easiest pulls, and this is phenomenal analysis by me. I heard a stat somewhere that I don't remember what it was, but more often than not, I know this is really just great source citing by me.
You're putting the hat on the hat with the joke here.
But like in all seriousness though, if we think about, and of all places, I was listening to a podcast about sleep, and that was where this was referenced.
Okay.
More often than not in these circumstances, we have an East Coast team traveling to play a West Coast team, and there's a difference in their body clocks. So this is an 8:20 kickoff for the East Coast team for their body clock.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to feel a lot later for them. So I like the idea of the 49ers covering the 4.5 against the Jets. I think that we're a little too hyped up on the Jets, and if that they're going to get into a rhythm, it's going to be a few weeks in. I feel like this is an opportunity, on the other hand, for the 49ers to get they always do this. You know, they always have like a really big prime time early season win that everyone starts to get super hyped up on them. So I feel pretty good about this. Give me 49ers covering 4.5 against the Jets.
I am staying away from that line personally. It gives me the ick because even after the Jets lost their quarterback last year after 3 plays, they ended up beating the Buffalo Bills with an overtime walk-off punt return touchdown. That was interesting to see from that team and how much life they showed in the first 9 weeks. San Francisco is by far the better team in this matchup. It shouldn't even be close. It's a common sense bet to take San Francisco 4.5. But I know there's still some old bitterness between Aaron Rodgers and San Francisco because he didn't get drafted there. He's a California kid and all that. And he's got the chip on his shoulder to say, I can still do this. It's a terrifying spread for me. I understand the common sense bet, though. Good team, historically terrible team. It's fine. I can't really admonish you on that one. My first bet, Dallas underdogs getting 2.5 versus the Cleveland Browns.
Bad pick.
Why would they ever be underdogs when they're playing a team quarterbacked by Deshaun Watson? This doesn't make any sense to me. You could say the Cleveland Browns defense is spectacular, and they retained all their talent. They're bringing J.O.K. back. The defensive backfield is loaded. Myles Garrett's a beast. Everything about that defense is certainly true. This Cleveland Browns offense could be terrible. Deshaun Watson hasn't shown me one game where he has stepped up and said, oh, I can be classic Deshaun Watson, looking like a grown-ass man, bouncing off of tacklers and then dotting up. No, I haven't seen that one snap in Cleveland. Dallas 2.5. I don't care about the Hollywood craziness that's going on with them and Jerry doing all these interviews and talking about Dak, and Dak doesn't really pay any attention to what Jerry says. That's a good look, Dallas. You're a garbage fire also, but you're gonna win this game. You're definitely not gonna lose to Cleveland.
You're putting a lot of faith in some like super iffy teams. Wow, there are a lot. Oh man, you're putting a lot of faith in some super iffy teams. This is a team I got a lot of faith in. Panthers covering +4 versus the Saints. I think that the Saints are so ungodly terrible. Like, I really think that this is going to be just a brutal year for the Saints. In the inverse of this, Panthers feel like that they've got more juice than people are willing to give them credit for. If there's like a really unexpected, when I was looking at the lines, if there's an unexpected underdog where you're just like, what? Really? That they had a decent win? Panthers feel like they got some juice that they could pull that one out.
Last year, the Panthers were possibly the worst football team I've ever seen in my life. But here's what I like about the Panthers. If you have your second year of a rookie quarterback and he was the #1 overall draft pick, you're still fighting for momentum. The Saints have been in quicksand for what feels like 10 years. They have not had any upward momentum or direction. They have flashy, fun players. Alvin Kamara has been spectacular. But you know what? Derek Carr is not going to do the job here. Panthers giving 4. I almost took this line because I think the Saints are going to take Carolina lightly because of how god-awfully bad they were. But maybe they go out and shock them. I won't take that line in my personal life. Awful pick, actually. My second pick,
F off.
Miami giving 3.5 versus Jacksonville. This is my common sense play of the week. Miami's offense, especially in the warm months, may be the best in the league. It might not even be close how good the offense is. A-Chain, Mostert, healthy Tua. You have Tyreek Hill and Waddle on the outside. They're dynamic. No matter how you chop it up and screw it, Miami is dynamic. Jacksonville is still trying to figure out their identity under Trevor Lawrence.
Chop it up and screw it?
They are still in a refractory period post-Urban where they don't know what they are. Are they a good defense team? Are they the team that runs the ball with ETN? Do they start airing it out with Lawrence and Calvin Ridley? No one knows. I don't know, but I know Miami is willing to put up 40 points in September. So Miami giving 3.5 makes sense to me. I like it a lot.
I feel like you're putting a lot of faith in some teams that have some uncertainties. I don't have like a huge counter for that, but I see where you're coming from. It makes plenty of sense.
You can just say it's a good bet. You
No,
don't have to have a counter for it.
Look, Miami,
great bet.
this is a situation where Miami could come out the gate like they always do, and they put up just goofy, ungodly offensive totals. But at the same time, I feel like everyone's discounting Jacksonville too quickly. So I don't really have much of a sway
There might be some bitterness from last year, expecting way more out of the Jaguars. That might still be carrying over for me, but I had bitterness towards Miami, how they ended the season last year in terrible fashion. No, I think they're ready to go. I think Miami puts up 40.
Bears -4 against the Titans. I think the Titans have been this weirdly propped up and hyped up team this whole offseason. We're like, oh, Will Levis is going to take this huge step forward. And
Who's saying
how
that?
many dude, no.
Genuinely?
There are a lot. I have sat in on some edits on some shows where that has been pitched a lot. And I'm sitting there just going like, didn't we do this with Will Levis every single year? We did it at Penn State, then we did it at Kentucky twice, and then we did his rookie season. And it's kind of just like a lot of like big arm, not a lot of anything else.
Yeah,
like nothing
big
else.
arm,
Really going.
whole lot of hog. That's what Will Levis.
He
is
does
great
have a
for you.
huge hog. I'm not going to get in on that. And it kind of gives me this vibe with the Bears that they're going to be a hot team to start because they do have all this positive energy for them going forward. They're kind of a darling now because of Hard Knocks, as that always happens. I know the Hard Knocks teams always don't like really explode out of the gate and they don't always end up being super productive during those seasons. But everything that the Bears have going for them is in such a positive direction. Their defense, I think, is phenomenal. So if they end up stealing a couple of interceptions off of goofball Will Levis, I see Caleb Williams capitalizing on it. So give me covering by 4 there.
I think two things. I drafted the Bears defense in my fantasy league. I believe in that defense, and that team is going to be certainly different this year. And this isn't optimism for a Mahomes stomper. No, I genuinely see a different culture in Chicago. I've seen it change way faster than I have in Washington. But the Titans aren't going to be this rough and tough, punchy in the mouth type team. They picked up Tony Pollard, fast back. They have Tajay Spears, fast back. Calvin Ridley, fast. So if they want to try to take the top off and then intermediately go to DeAndre Hopkins for good contested catches, that's fine. It's not the offense that I would run in Tennessee. I still think that they need to fix up the offensive line. It's still a very young offensive line with Skaronski and J.C. Latham. The Bears also, they have a little bit of destiny in this Week 1 game. It's a little bit of destiny to feel the Caleb Williams hype.
That's what I'm going for.
And see how he developed in camp. And if you have a set of eyeballs and you looked at him throwing the ball in preseason, you'd be impressed. So it's a fine pick, Bears giving 4. My final pick, Seattle giving 6 versus Denver.
Terrible pick.
It's a good pick. Do you know why, Joseph?
I mean, I think it's a terrible pick because if there is a heartbeat game for Bo Nix and for Denver to just kind of pop out of nowhere and keep them close, they don't even need to win. You 6 points? You need Seattle to win by 6?
I do. Let me have guest tweeter Brian Nemhauser give you a little information here. Vegas now has the Seahawks as 6-point favorites against Denver. They are 5-0 in their last 5 season home openers when favored by 6+
you pulled someone
points.
else's analysis. Boom!
I checked in with one of my Seahawks sources, and he directed
Somebody at
me
the gas station
to
when you
this
got your Zins?
tweet. Don't worry about my. Now we're vice shaming. That's crazy.
No, not vice shaming, but I think that you get your betting advice from the guy at the convenience store.
A trusted Seahawks source linked me
What's
right
his
to
name?
Don't worry about his name. I'm not giving my source out right now. All right, because if this doesn't hit, then I'm gonna remove that source from the Rolodex when it comes to talking Seahawks. Also, Denver has not looked sharp. They have not looked strong. Denver has been the Chicago White Sox the last couple years of who to bet against if you're betting in the NFL. Do they have a competitive game against the Chiefs every now and then? Sure. Do they sometimes get a scare out of the Los Angeles Chargers? Maybe once in a blue moon. They're not good. Sean Payton doesn't know what the hell he's doing on the sidelines. Seattle giving 6. In a duel between 10-year vet Geno Smith and rookie Bo Nix, I'm taking Geno Smith. Which I kind of don't like that I said that
It's
like Kellerman's
6
Iguodala,
points.
but it is what it is.
Wait, are they 5-0 in their openers, or are they 5-0 against the spread in their openers?
They are, when the Seahawks are 6-point they're 5-0 in their last 5 season openers when favored by 6+ points.
I hate that. That's so oddly specific. That trend doesn't mean anything to me. That's all just kind of based on like, hey, this kind of
History of winning at home in an opener when favored by 6+
all of those
points.
teams prior to today were different teams. So it's more of a trend than it is like, hey, here's a reason why this team's going to win. It's like, oh, this happens to
They
happen.
covered in 3 out of 5, and the one little caveat that I'm not thrilled about, the most recent was against Cincinnati in 2019. So it's been a couple years, and I know they haven't been home favorites by 6+ points, but yeah, that's something I'm going to back up this bet with. There's no way they lose this game.
All right, let's talk about the AP top 10 that was dropped this week. There's going to be a lot of inaccuracies that are going to be happening with this. The current list as it stands: number 1, Georgia; number 2, Ohio State; 3, Texas; 4, Alabama; number 5, Notre Dame; number 6, Ole Miss; number 7, Oregon; 8, Penn State; number 9, Missouri; 10, Michigan. The two for me that I feel are a little unjustified. I don't know why we've got Missouri and Michigan in there. I feel like Missouri is a great team, but there's other far more proven teams. Michigan should not be ranked. I think USC should be in there. I think Tennessee should be in there over them. Michigan looked hapless against Fresno State, and they're probably going to lose against Texas this week, so they're going to be bounced anyways.
I saw a Michigan podcaster say that Michigan.
I saw this
You
too.
saw the same one that Texas may not score 10 points against Michigan.
A ridiculous take. So they're basically banking on that game being 7-3 because Michigan's offense isn't going to score more than 10
Yeah,
points.
I know. The Michigan defense is legit. And the reigning champs being at 10 when they haven't lost a game yet, it doesn't offend me. Missouri at 9 is kind of offensive because they're just not going to be at 9 at the end of the year, and you know it. But it's week 1. I don't like having Oregon over Penn State right now personally, and as a noted...
That I also don't like either. I
As
think Penn State should have been higher.
And I know what Penn State's ceiling and floor is.
Yeah.
I'm certain, and we have told the tales of woes of Penn State and how they can't beat either of their big brothers. But that was a very impressive week 1 win against West Virginia. No matter how you look at it, Penn State dominated it. You send them into the locker room for 2.5 hours, and they come out and do that to West Virginia, and are unfazed. I loved seeing that. That's a team of high, strong mental toughness and character. And Oregon going down to the wire with Idaho. And we're fans of Idaho. We like the Vandals and the Kibby.
Yeah.
But you got to kind of be a little bit better against Idaho.
Finishing drives.
I would have had Penn State over Oregon for sure. That was my biggest takeaway, is that one was a little more deserving of a higher ranking.
Yeah, I feel like Oregon definitely should have tumbled a little bit more. I was laughing at the number 1 comment on this was just so...
Who, Diesel Kane?
Yeah, Diesel Kane. Polls shouldn't exist until week 6. Preseason rankings are a stupid shell game perpetuated by TV networks to advertise and sell games between teams without having any clue how good they are. Complete nonsense. I mean, like, he really just completely broke that thing wide open. And I'm not even saying that sarcastically. I mean, like, that literally is why we have these rankings. It's why Texas A&M suddenly was vaulted in the back half of the top 25 so that could be broadcasted as a highly ranked game. Michigan's still a top 10 team. It's so that them versus Texas is, going to be a premier top 10 matchup. Yeah. Otherwise, it would have been probably a sloppy game, and it's going to be a sloppy game.
I kind of get Diesel Kane's point. I'm guessing he's a Miami Hurricanes fan.
Oh, I just realized Miami's not
They're not on
here.
the list. Yeah, it's
that's bullshit.
That's what I was about to get to. That's bullshit that Miami is left off.
Well,
they're a top 10 team.
This is the problem that we have with these rankings, is because you have your preseason poll, and then all of these guys pull up their ballots, and then they just sit there and they look at them, and they're like, oh, I'm going to move this guy down, I'll move this guy up, and I'll just kind of shuffle it around a little bit. You should start from scratch any opportunity that you have. So when there's huge restructuring, and we vote on the FCS national poll, which is the equivalent of the AP poll, that was how I was doing it every single week after we were a few weeks in. I was making sure that even with results, I was blowing things up, and I was trying to like, oh, okay, this team got their asses kicked. I shouldn't give them any love like I thought I had coming into the preseason.
I got my red, yellow, green games highlighted. How many greens, how many... Everyone's got their own system, but it's a constant reevaluation and readjustment to the polls. At least that's how my approach has been. What have you done for me? I don't know how anybody, the majority of people voting on this, watched that Miami game and said this team is not worthy of being in the top 10. It was maybe the most dominant game of the weekend.
That's the key there. Miami's win was the most impressive out of any win because, Notre Dame ekes out a close win in a really hard environment, impressive enough for them to move up. Georgia dominates Clemson. We already know who they are. Our perspective doesn't change. But to see Miami show up in a hostile environment where they're not expected to overwhelm their opponent, in Florida, the hype was hard schedule, but maybe there's something there. Maybe they could be competitive. Maybe they could pull out this upset. A lot of people were picking the upset. to go in favor of Florida. A lot of people were saying that that was going to be the upset of the week. And not only did they beat them, but they embarrassed them.
Yeah.
They made them look like a listless, dead body just on the mat that was just getting pummeled over and over again. This was an SEC-ACC matchup where notoriously the SEC is supposed to dominate. And they made them look like a bunch of weak ass MFers.
Yeah.
So I don't understand that, man.
Miami should have been in the top 10 for sure. That I wish I'd noticed that a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I don't know how I missed that. I can't believe it. It was such a foregone conclusion.
Yeah,
for
I'm
me.
sitting here like, oh, you said Miami. That you definitely said that. We don't need to. Yeah, that's kind of that's a bit egregious from the AP voters there.
Final college football topic here. So the 321 Noel on Twitter had tweeted out an offer that if
not an offer, a promise.
a promise.
This is
Yes.
a promise.
If they lost to Boston College after the Georgia Tech game, that he was going to eat dog shit out of a red Solo cup.
with a spoon.
And as everybody was starting to remember this, a lot of big accounts, Jack Mack, Josh Pate, a lot of big
Big Cat
accounts.
was all over it.
Yeah.
They're all over it. SVP was on it.
His account disappears. His account suddenly disappears. He came back, and the worst part about this is his response was, and I guess it's him, we think it's him, after he hid for a couple of days, his response was, I'm not doing that shit. I'm not doing it. He claimed that he wasn't doing it. I just will never understand, and props to him for not having his real persona behind the account, because
Yeah.
he did hide a little bit here, even though some people did somehow track him down. Great journalisming by Jack Mack for this.
Stellar.
I just look, why are you gonna throw that out there? Why would you put this out in the ether? Like, why are you gonna, if it's the tattoo thing, it's a little funny, but why would you offer to eat shit out of a cup?
Yeah, it's the guarantee is what strikes me. I tweeted this week that if I saw one of those new electric Nissans next to me, I would rip out my radio and beat myself over the head out of envy. Like that was a tweet. I didn't make any promises or guarantee. There was no.
Was it a sarcastic tweet?
No, they're sick. They look sick, man. I think they're Z40s. Regardless, I didn't make a promise or a guarantee. I had just a throwaway statement. And this
is a piece
not
of
that,
shit.
Not that one. Not that. Jesus. Look at my Twitter feed. You'll see that. You'll see.
Oh,
the
is it these two big numbers?
no, it's not.
It's like a station wagon.
I didn't make a graphic for it either. If you put up your own little your face and you put up the title, that's fine. That's what you're doing. No, not trauma dump man. A little farther down, pal. But you can't give the promise and not follow through, especially in a new era of everyone's starting to follow through on their bets. Everyone wants to make the ridiculous
It's not a
statements.
Nissan, it's a Hyundai.
Oh, what? Oh, the Hyundai.
All right, I keep cutting you off. Continue.
Regardless, you have to follow through if you're going to try to be a part of the internet in the fun way, where you're making an outlandish comment, and you have to do that. Not on the principle. I was going to watch him take the bite of the dog shit. It's disgusting. I would have thrown up. I have a weak constitution.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
It wouldn't have worked for me. It wouldn't do it for me. But if you want to be in the mix, you have to follow through.
Okay.
Or you could just be out of the mix forever.
Forget him being a coward for a second. What would it take for you to eat dog shit out of a cup? Like what bet are you so confident in that you would put out there that you'd be willing to eat dog? Because I mean, I've put myself on the line where I said I'd eat a hat if Jaden Daniels was a first round pick. I never ate the hat, but I still tried to make some sort of
You did wear a hat.
I did wear a hat. I
That
made
was
some sort
that
of
was
a compromise.
impressive.
I made a compromise. You literally can't eat fabric.
You could have boiled it down. You could have sliced it up.
It would have killed me.
It would
Just like
you know what?
shouldn't
Actually,
eat dog shit because that will also kill you.
Actually, seeing how you have handled this last couple weeks, you shouldn't eat a hat. You should stick to the
Yeah,
most basic
exactly my
foods.
point. Exactly my point.
Here's the problem. There's dog shit everywhere here where we're living. I've never seen more people walking their fucking
New
dogs.
Jersey.
It is labradoodles and French. There's dogs everywhere. So you'd be able to pop open a trash can and find a bat.
Mm-hmm.
So we have available access. What would it take for me to do it? I don't know. That's like I wouldn't put Seattle giving 6
All right, well,
on the line.
let me rephrase that. Would you willingly eat dog shit if like it was on the line for you, like you had to do it? Say you were in his situation, would you eat the dog shit?
Yes, I think I would have to. I have followed through with a lot of really unfortunate bets with the Duke show and gone through with bits where I've had to do a cringy 80s rap in front of hundreds. I have done the syrup chug in front of hundreds. I did a 40-yard dash in a tight white t-shirt. I've done a lot of really compromising things that I'm still not really settled with.
I wonder how we can motivate you to eat shit out of a
We
cup.
get 1,000
Really-
people in a stream here sometime this year. I'll fucking find a bag of dog shit. And I'll take a bite of dog shit on this stream. We get 1,000 people live.
Can you clip that?
Go ahead, clip it.
All right,
We get
so
1,000
Sean,
yeah.
if we have one episode, rally everybody. If we have one episode where in the next until the end of the year,
End of the year, if we have a watch party, a live video episode that I see 4 digits right there at the top
this is
eyeball.
1,000 live viewers.
You will-
Sean will eat shit.
You will have me on the next stream with a little nugget of dog shit in my hand. I'd pop it in, and then we'd be on with our day.
We'd have to take you to the. I wonder what the how does it?
I'd be fine.
You think so? There's not something in that poop that wouldn't.
I think that these Jersey dog owners are taking good care of their dogs. I think they're getting primo dog
That's
food.
true.
They're not giving them dog food from different, they want to give them the purest Purina. They're getting the delivery dog food. So yeah, there's that's my stipulation. And we didn't plan out, okay, we're going to lead this into let's get more people in the stream. Off the top of the head, we get 1,000, I'll do that.
Well, we're not gonna get 1,000 because I don't think enough people are gonna. I don't think enough people are gonna rally around that. But I think that you should clip that and share it. I don't know how we would organize. We would have to hope that enough people would have to organize a group of people together because no one's gonna keep watching every single week in hopes that you eat poop. No one's gonna
Sure.
do that. Maybe there's some sicko. Maybe there is a demographic. And actually, what am I talking about? Our whole
The audience.
our whole listener demographic would be more than excited to keep tuning in more often if it meant that you were going to eat some poop.
I'm really hoping that the guy that we were emailing with today is not tuning in on this clip here, man. Let's have our meeting and then we'll go.
Sponsored by.
Yeah.
Last thing that I want to get to today. So, Bill Belichick's on Instagram. First 2 people he followed. One was his 24-year-old girlfriend. What was the other one?
The NFL on Instagram.
The NFL. I wish he had some nuts and he would follow Giselle. Like, I wish that was the first person that he went and followed. That would have been hilarious. That would have been a great bit, but I don't think he's in that frame of mind.
The NFL legend going on social media, it like hits for a couple days and it's a big pop when they start, oh, I'm getting the hang of this. And then it goes right into obscurity with me. Like, remember when Mike Ditka first joined Twitter and everyone was like, oh, Mike Ditka, I love it. And he was just kind of doing his shtick, like, F off, I don't care about you and all that. And then now I don't really think about Mike Ditka on Twitter. I'm not going to think about Bill Belichick on Instagram. What am I going to see? If he starts posting big fish that he catches off of his boat, maybe I'll follow him. But
okay, so that's what he needs to do. So if I'm Bill Belichick, he needs to not let his 24-year-old girlfriend manage the account. Somebody needs to get in his ear, and what he needs to be. Oh, we got the Simpsons Family Guy crossover on the TV. It needs to be all just really poorly like I want the full dad mode Instagram account. I've seen we all know what we're talking about.
You know
here.
who did a great job of that? Henry Winkler has done a fantastic job. He played Barry Zuckercorn.
Yeah.
Because he posts pictures of it's a good Monday, and he's smiling. He's holding up a little trout in the river.
I just want that, just like
blows up every time.
Poorly framed of him posting pictures of fish and him without a shirt on. That's all I want. I just want that over and over again. No, I don't want him resharing clips because clearly probably like the 33rd team asked him to do it so that they could post his clips for Underdog Fantasy. He's going to send him a green fly invite to post and share the clips. Like, hey, Bill, here's your clip for the day. Can you please post this on your account? No, I want him to go just say no to that. And I want it to just be like a picture of a porch beer. I want him to be the most old ass man that he possibly could be.
Take a picture of your lawn after you mowed it. Said good day. That would get a like from me.
Yes.
Do some just be yourself, and then you will grow, Bill. You don't just it's gonna be corporate. It's gonna be so corporate. And
this is why I'm in on the Patriots to win this week, sponsored by Toyota.
I want to see just a picture of his cat laying there with LOL. Go ahead. It means nothing. It's a nothing post, but that's what it should be. I guess that's a bit hypocritical after my earlier take this week.
So I'm getting Blake. Blake's texting me, go to the AYS Facebook page now, and I'm like, why? And I'm thinking it's something like serious or urgent, or like maybe I got doxxed or something on his Facebook account, which probably would happen. And he's like, oh my god, look at it. He goes, go see the amount of views. And I said, I'm on a show right now. And he goes, whose show? What are they doing here?
Oh man, yeah, that's
Thanks, Blake.
Yeah.
Well, we were done with topics today. Anything else before we get out of here?
We are going to be live on Friday morning, I believe, and for Saturday night, the Colorado-Nebraska matchup. If you are enjoying the show and the live streams, we've been thrilled to have you involved with it. We're going with that night game. It's going to be fun. Most exciting game of the week. We're passing on that Florida the Michigan, Texas, because it's going to be a bore.
That's going to be even more boring than the Georgia Clemson game. And it's also like these early morning games, I think.
People are more active. If you're, come hang out with us on Saturday night. It's fun. Ask the questions. It's a good bit. We interact with the chat all the time. The whole game. That's what it is. You're hanging out with us, watching the game together.
At Joe DeLeone, at Sanderson Radio, at Hack City Pod. Hit subscribe. Leave us a 5-star review. We will talk to you later. Enjoy the rest of your week.